How you doing, everybody? Randy Richard in the shop. A quickie one here today. I just received this here. This is a 6-inch by about 3-inch cylinder square. This was made by Eric Richards of Turner Tooling up in the San Francisco Bay Area. He's in San Jose. And he makes a lot of precision tooling, very specialty tooling, especially for aircraft engines and things like that. Anyway, but he made me a cylinder square, and it just came. So I was just I'm doing some checking on it. You can see I put some marks on here, and the only thing I've noticed was on the inside chamfer there was a tiny little burr around here. So I took a little emery and I sanded that burr off this inside edge on both ends, and because it was on one end it was actually causing it to rock a little bit, but I sanded that burr off and now it's rock solid, and actually it's pretty good. So what I have here is this is my little 6-inch step type granite standard used from Stand Ridge. Last time it was calibrated was in 9/2 of 2015, but I really don't use it very much at all. I here and there, but so it has really very little wear to it or anything like that. My big granite plate here is a Precision Granite Company plate, but I had it reground by Stand Ridge actually they ground it to calibrate it to AA standard. So and I don't use it a lot, so I'm sure it's in very good condition as far as flatness goes. Anyway, so what I did here is I calibrated with this. I used my surface gauge here, which I have a radius piece on. You can see that here. You have a radius piece put in here. I ground a groove in it. I think I did a video about it, and insert a piece of tool steel and just ground a radius on it. Doesn't matter what the radius is as long as it's a smooth radius. So you can put it up against something like so and set your gauge to 0, and now you've calibrated perpendicular or from the plate. Okay, so I calibrated here. Now I'm using an interrapid tense indicator. It's what this one is. And I then went around the cylinder square and checked for the spots where I could find 0, and I marked them. So here I put down here 0 to the reference, and I did it on both ends. And now down here I even marked where it was -2. I flipped it over and did it on both sides. Also, now I have a Square Master here. I don't know if you've seen that. There you go. The Square Master. And I don't know if you know about these, but they have 3 feet, and you can adjust it to be square. But you need a reference. And I used this reference here. Now this is a 12-inch one. And inside here is actually a granite stone that's been precision flat and all that, and mounted in here, and that's what this slides against. And in the back there's a little handle for me to slide this down, up and down. Now one thing I've noticed, now I built this piece here so I could put an indicator in many different locations and different size indicators. So you have a little thumb screw I can move around, and I have a handle here I put in. It didn't have anything really when I got it, so this is why I built something. And then one thing I've noticed about these, if you have one of these could be very temperamental to temperature. So if you're going to do measurements, you probably want to do with everything at the same temperature, of course, anyway, and have this at the same temperature as You know, some are usually around in the 70s or so, around low 70s. But anyway, a constant temperature. You don't want a varying temperature, and this here can actually slide. I prefer to use the handle back. It slides better. It can slide different at different temperatures. So I find around 70 is about the best for mine. But anyway, so if we'll check I haven't checked the calibration of it, but I put it on here. But I put it against the cylinder square, and it was only 1/10 the whole length, and so. Now you probably can't see very good the glare because there's a glare on there, but what I'm doing is I'm just going to put this up here and then gently. So I grabbed a knocker and I'm just going to gently tap this up to close to where about half a turn of the dial, really close to zero. So I'm within half a tenth. So that's 50 millionths. And we're just going to run it up and down. We're going to check the calibration of this. It moved about 50 millionths, half a tenth to the negative. Just hit that again. Yeah, 50. I would say that's about within 50 millionths. Yeah. So that moved about 50 millionths to the negative. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, for me, that is pretty calibrated. It takes a lot of fiddling to get rid of that. So we'll move that to the side. And we'll slide in the cylinder square. And we'll do a check. Now I'm going to go right to where I already marked 0 right there. According to that with the surface gauge, and we'll just kind of go over here and get hopefully close to that. We'll go down here pretty low, and again I'm just going to tap it up here. Okay, about I'm 1/10 minus, so that's good enough. And we're going to slide it up. Let's see what we read. And I'm at 3/10 minus. So we're only 2/10 in 6 inches, basically, as far as that goes. That's right there, and up to there. About 2/10. So that's not too bad. I had another mark over here, but I don't. And we'll see how this one at this rear this one too. We'll just try this one out. It's very difficult to try to say, oh, put it at a certain number. You're dealing with such small amounts. It's very difficult. So get it close to some number. And I'm 3 minus right there, and we'll just go up and see what this is where it's right here, and I'm at 5 minus. So that's about 2/10 again at this spot. So that's not too bad. And for me here in my shop, hey, that's awesome. I don't ever do stuff that is having to be this probably this accurate. Oh yeah, right on 0. There we go. Okay, so there. Well, it moved 50 millionths. That's it. 50 millionths from 0 up here. So that is that mark there. We're on this end. That is 0, within 50 millionths over the total whole height. So that's awesome. Thank you, Eric. I don't have a cylinder square, so now I do. That was very nice of you to make that for me. It's all ground stuff. Because he does some really cool work. And these are, like I said, these are my basic tools I use for checking square. Is the square master against the block and a surface gauge, and now I have a cylinder square I could use. All right, I do have one other method. I've only used it a few times, but it's very touchy. But this is an old Sheffield indicator, and I have several heads, and they work, and this even works still. So what I've done is I put it on here, and I've set it up so I'm at 0. I'm square here. Let's see here if we'll just take it off, and we'll swing to 0. Okay, there we go, and then I zeroed it. The scale I'm on is this red down here. I'm using its full deflection is 2/1000ths of an inch, and each division is 1/10 of an inch. It will go finer, but for this, we'll just use it there. It's very sensitive. Just moving the wire can change things sometimes, so you have to be very careful. So we'll do that, and we're going to just swing this over here, and we're just going to compare it against our against the standard here. And so just right there near the 0 mark I have, yeah, I'm picking up about 1.5 tenths difference from the standard. So we could get really picky. I mean, you could turn it here to this scale it'd be a tenth. 1/1000th is the scale, and each one is a half a tenth reading. Now I did not zero it on that, so I should have zeroed it on that scale. But you can. It's super sensitive. So that's about 1/10, and that's about what we had before, about 1/10. So just me walking on the floor, it's moving now. It's because this is on a wood floor. It's a heavy base and all that, but just the flexion of me moving around, it will deflect. That's why you don't use it there too often. But anyway, this is another method I have. So thanks to you guys again. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.